Greetings, folks. If you're watching this in the future, please leave a like and please subscribe. But we're on to our 37th day without crashing. 85th day overall. I think I've crashed a total of 4 times, I want to say, something like that. But we're on to day 37. We're getting up there. We're getting up there. And we're going to be back on the Isle of Man today. We're going to be continuing to practice the section that I was practicing yesterday. That is Sarah's Cottage, or I really should change it to Glen Helen. I was just looking at a course guide, and the end of the first sector in the real race is Glen Helen, so that seems like it'd be a little bit of a better end point. I'll just change the name of it, but going to be going from Glen Helen up to Ballaugh, which is the end of the second sector, actually. So, going to be just going back and forth down that stretch of road, trying to memorize the corners, seeing if I can predict them before I can see them. And we'll be learning the names of them a little bit better. The names of the corner on the video that I was watching were much different than the ones that popped up in the game here, or in the mod. So yeah, we'll be doing that, and we'll be sticking to the left lane. We're not going to be going too fast. At least definitely not too fast at the start. We may get going a little bit speedier towards the end of the stream, but I'm also not going to be going too long today. I'll probably only be on for 50 minutes to an hour or so. I got some other stuff to do tonight. So yeah, in other news, I got my motorcycle working, my KLR in real life. Finally got it working. It's been down for the count for a good while, and I tried all sorts of stuff. And I think yesterday I was talking about how I cleaned out the carburetor, and I'm pretty sure that's what the issue was. I'm not totally certain because I also dumped the gas that was in my gas tank and put in some clean gas, and it just might have been some bad gas in there. I'm not totally sure. It stopped running after I did a valve shim change. It would start for about 3 seconds and then it would just sputter out. But yeah, it was weird. It was running fine before that, and then after the valve shim change, it just didn't want to change, or it didn't want to start, even though the clearances were like in the middle of spec. So it was weird. I don't really know what the issue was, but I took it out for like an hour today, and it was doing great. So finally I can ride in real life again. It's awesome. But yeah, so doing that, gonna be continuing to work on the other sectors of this mod over the next couple days. The next sector is gonna be from Ballaugh Bridge until Guthrie's Memorial. I think the third sector ends at Ramsey Hairpin, but excuse me. That would make the fourth sector a little bit too long for the game to be able to handle it without the bike shaking as you're riding. So, gonna be doing that. Let's just get into the ride, folks. I'll talk as I warm up, because I do have to cut the stream a little bit short tonight. Does our sound good? Yep. Okay. Let's center ourselves up. Something like that feels pretty good. I've been having a slight issue over the last couple days where my gyro has been recentering randomly. I forgot to check on it yesterday after the stream, but I'm just going to be paying attention for that. If it feels like going straight is slightly crooked on my gyro, I'm just going to stop real quick and recenter it, but let's get going. Alright, so the issue corners, from what I can remember, coming from both directions at the 13th milestone can be sketchy. There's a sketchy corner at the end of this coming straight, which is Cronky Body Straight. That's another name I learned. Let's see if I can point it out. This is Lamfell right here, I think, or maybe it was a little bit further back. This is Cronky Body Straight. This hill right here, coming at it from the opposite direction, that turn back there can sort of jump out at you. And yeah, I think there's another problem corner going this direction at some point, but I kind of forget where it is. So I'll be going pretty slow until I remember those. Coming up to Handleys. And yeah, there are much more names for these corners than are presented on these red signs in the mod here. So I think I'm going to study the videos that sort of walk you through each corner a little bit harder. Coming up to Ballaugh. I think in the opposite direction, that corner right back there sort of catches you out. This corner, this one can surprise you. So, pretty much at the end of Gyro. here we've got Alpine Cottage. And I'm guessing this is Alpine Cottage right there. And then I think after this slight turn is Ballaugh. Yep. So again, we want to watch out for an invisible wall right there. I wonder how easy it really would be to just slightly modify the 3D models on this mod. Pretty much the extent of what I did in Blender to make these sections was delete a whole bunch of vertices from the other points of the map that aren't included in these sections. But I wonder if I could actually play with the 3D model itself. I have no experience doing stuff like that, but I bet I could figure it out. There's a slight kink here. Excuse me. I love the little planes that are like stationary above the track in this mod. Give some charm to it, definitely. Alright, so up here there are 3 crests, and we want to start breaking at the second one. Right here. Might be able to break it a little bit later than that, but this corner definitely catches you out if you're not ready for it. Gyro up here. And then I think the right-hander up here can be a little surprising. Up to Handleys. then we've got two double apex corners here going into Cronky Body straight. There's one. Here's two. And after this hill, we've got a left turn. Not very sharp though. Then up here, we want to look out for the second crest. There's a corner node after it. Not a very sharp one either. Then I think this section is landfell. And I think this section right here has a name as well. I forget what it is. Back into Sarah's Cottage. Alright, so let's try to see if we can remember the corners here. We've got one chicane starting with a left-hander. And I think there's another one. And what is the lead up to Cronky Body? Got a slight left-hander, double apex, into a sweeping right that leads into this right-hander into Cronky Body. Okay, so two chicanes, both opposites. And I already forget what the other corners are. This is a chicane that's both double apexes going into handles, if I remember correctly. Left-hander and the right-hander, left into this long straight, followed by a slight left or a slight right, and then I think Barragaro's coming up soon. Indeed. I had some really good mac and cheese for it now. Oh my goodness. Alright, so this corner up here, this right-hander can be a bit surprising. Alright. Then we've got a few left-handers leading out of the 13th milestone into the straight up to Michael. Okay. wonder if I do figure out 3D modeling, if Fixer would let me change the sandbags and airbags into the more modern red and white ones, because those look pretty cool. And they do sort of pop out and let you know that a corner's coming a little bit more in advance. I guess they're easier to spot. To run Cullen. Last year, Davey Todd took that hill so well. I was watching this sort of highlight reel, and that jump right there at Run Cullen can be really sketchy, but Davey Todd took it where he sort of jumped it and then landed the rear wheel down, and pretty much like a dirt bike, just got the throttle perfectly, so he just like rode the entire downhill on his rear wheel. I don't know if the motorcycling community uses the word steez a lot, but that was a steezy hill right there. Into black. A little bit much on the throttle there. Alright, I think on my way back, coming the other direction, I'm going to really focus on exactly how that alpine section goes after this Ren Cullen jump up here. So this corner sort of sweeps to the left, and then right at this white bag right there, you want to start braking. And what's after this section? I think we have a right and a left and a right, and then we're at a long straight. Left. Right. No, this is Handley's, okay. Where's that long straight? I think after this, we've got this right-hander, then a left, and then we're into the straight. Indeed, okay. What is there? A left right here? There is. Oh, and this is Cronky Body. I'm all mixed up here. I don't know where I'm at. Alright, so this time around I'm going to focus mainly on that section between Sarah's Cottage and Cronky Vadi. And I'm also going to focus a lot on Alpine right after Rencullen. So we got a left and a right, then a right and a left. Left, right. Right, left. Then we have a slight left here. And that's a double apex. So left, right. Then we're on the straight. So it goes left, right, right, left, right, and then here. Easy enough. Now I'm turning my brain off, kinda, until we get to Alpine. So I do want to see what the order is until that one straight after Handley. So we're going to left, right, left, right, left. Okay, that's where it is. Now where's Gyro? Is that coming up? Okay, so right after you get to the top of Gyro, you've got that long straight, and it's a left, right, left, and you're at Handley's. slight left into a slight straight, and then we're at the 13th milestone. And that sketchy turn is just right here. So it's very, very slight straight. Now we've got Rincon coming up, and then I'm going to be paying attention pretty close to this whole Alpine section. Alright, so we've got a sweeping right after this. Kind of a double apex. Then we've got a little straight. The sweeping left and the sweeping right. Then a sweeping left and a sweeping right. And then it's pretty much a straight going up here. Oh my goodness. If I crash, it doesn't count. Oh, this freaking headset, man. Hey, I just stayed in the middle of the road. If you haven't heard my spiel, every time I turn my headset on, after a random amount of time, it used to be like 10 minutes, now it's random. It will turn my whole screen black and give me a pop-up saying there's water debris in the charging port. Even though there's not, and the only reason it does that is because I replaced the original stock crap charging port. But whatever. I totally forgot this whole section. What is good to note is it seems like there's a very sweeping corner leading up to Ballaugh Bridge, so that can be a good indication of Ballaugh Bridge coming up. Let's see if I get this jump right. Yeah, that's better. Alright, so there's this slight turn into a sweeping corner, and that is an indication of the Ballaugh Bridge coming up. Right here. And it's pretty straight to another sweeping corner, to another slight straight. Excuse me. To another sweeping corner. So once we start getting these sweeping right-handed corners going in the opposite direction, and here's another one. So there's like 4 sweeping corners leading up to Black Bridge. And we've got a straight, and I think this is the run cone jump up here, so... Yeah, we can pretty much think of Alpine as like 4 sweeping right-handed corners. That's kind of cool. Alright, so thinking about going the opposite direction, what comes right after Ballaugh? Is it Handleys, I think? Or is it that straight? I think it's the straight. Is this it? Yes, this is the straight. So now we've got a right, a long left, and a right going up to Handleys, I want to say. Long left, and a right, and this should be Handleys. It is. Then, what comes after this? I'm not sure. I think Cronky Boggy, but I'm not sure about the turns leading up to it. Oh yeah, there's these two right here. And then, after we're done with Cronky Boggy, it should be a left and a right, right and a left and a right, and then we should be back at Tearoff's Cottage, I think. Left, long left, right, right left, left right, and Tearoff's Cottage. Very cool. Alright, so it seems like the only real fuzzy bit that now isn't very fuzzy is that bit before Handley's Cottage going the opposite direction. And that's pretty much 2 long double apex turns. And I think that's pretty much the whole thing. I'm gonna have to pay attention to Alpine going Well, Alpine is just, yeah, Alpine's those 4 sweeping right-handed corners. I didn't pay attention to how exactly they're spaced going this time, but I might have this section almost down at this point. There's 2 double apex corners, one right, one left, into Handleys. And after Handleys, it's is it a left turn first? I think so. Yes, it's a left-hander first, followed by a long right, then another left into that second straight, and then after that second straight, we're pretty much into Ballaugh. So let's see. Yep, left-hander first, long right, left, straight, and then after this it's just a couple right-handers into Ballaugh. Okay. Got a slight kink in the road, and after that kink we want to get ready for that sketchy right-hander, and this is a very short straight coming up here. Just right there. And we've got a few lefts onto the straight leading up to Michael. Then Ren Cullen, I think, is pretty much just that cool right-hander, followed by a left-hander. And is that it until the jump? Let's see. Is the jump right after this? It is, okay. So Ren Cullen's kind of small. Then we got Alpine. So we're looking for 4 sweeping right-handed corners. This is one. This is 2. This is 3. Then we got a little straight up to this sweeping right-hander up here, and then we should be at Ballaugh. Oh, there's another one. Okay. So 5 sweeping right-handers. Okay. So let's try to identify those on the way back. Those 5 sweeping rights. Now left. So here's 1. Here's 2. And this one has this wiggly straight. There's 3. And there seems to be a straight in between every single one of them. There's 4. And then this 5th one up here leads into Ren Cullen. Very nice, okay. Very nice. Is that the whole track? Do I have the whole track memorized now? This Ren Cullen bit is still a little fuzzy, but it's only really that chicane right there. I think before I officially have this section memorized, I'm going to want to have a better idea of the straights in between those 5 sweeping right-handers in Alpine. But I mean, after that, I think I have pretty much the whole thing down. So straight, going into some right-handers. Sketchy left. Up to there, Gyro. And we've got a sweeping left followed by a quick right. Got this long straight here. Then we've got a right followed by a sweeping left and another quick right onto Handley's. And I still seem to be a little fuzzy about exactly what's after. Oh, it's after Handley's. There's the 2 double apex corners. First is right. There's 1. 2. And double apex left. Onto Conky body. after Plonky Body, it's a left, right, right, left, right, and then into Sarah's Cottage. Left, right. Right, left. Left, right. And that is it. That's the whole thing. Alright, I do have some other stuff to do tonight, so I'm going to see how long I've been streaming. If I've been going anywhere under like 45 minutes, I'm going to do one more. But let's see. I'm at 53 minutes. I think I might cut it there. So, tomorrow I'll do this section again. I'll really, what's the word for it? I'll hammer these corners home, I guess. I guess you could say. And then, yeah, I'm gonna focus a lot on Alpine and really get that section nailed down. So it's 5 sweeping right-handers, each with a bit of a straight in between, but I don't really know the structure of each of those straights. I'm gonna try to memorize that tomorrow. And then hopefully, the day after that, I'll have Ballaugh to Guthrie's memorial done, and that will be a good bit more to memorize. I think that's 18 kilometers, whereas this section is 12, so that should be the next 4 or 5 days after that of memorizing that whole bit. Then we'll be on to the mountain. So, thank you all for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow.